we going today? All the way there. Let's go.
Hey,
I love it. I love it.
how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Hey,
Cold.
hello.
Girl,
No,
cold.
okay, so I was on another screen. Did you show that picture of us when you played the music?
Yes.
I
Yes.
cannot. I mean, we. That's one thing we definitely need to redo. That me
Tanya
doing my
was
own makeup.
she was so adamant about doing her own makeup. Now,
Because
every
I
time
watched
she
the
look at
YouTube.
that picture, she can't take it.
Okay, you know why? Because I watched the YouTube and I thought I was gonna be able to throw down. And yeah. And
Well,
for the life of me, I don't understand why I was under here with the blush. I was over here with the makeup.
You were better off letting Lana do your makeup, girl.
I think I should have. I think I should have let her do
She
it.
would have
I don't
got
know
you
what I was
together.
thinking when I wanted to do it myself. Okay, so anyway, happy Sunday, everybody.
hell, happy Sunday.
Hey, happy Sunday.
How's everyone doing?
Awesome.
Good. Great,
Good.
great.
Well, we have my niece Latrece on the show with us today. We're going to dig in while she's here momentarily. But I have a question because I think everyone in here is either in their 40s or just left their 40s. I just left my 40s, so I'll admit. When did you start noticing changes? Like all those things that women in their 40s and 50s told you guys about that you're like, that's not going to happen to me. But now it's starting to happen. I just need to know.
Like,
when did it start happening? What started happening?
40 something, like hot flashes for me. For me, I'm like menopause all day, hot. You guys have hot flashes?
No, and I haven't
Oh, my
experienced any
God.
of that yet. And I'm not gonna even lie. Sometimes I'd be a little jealous when my friends be like, "Oh, girl," I'm like, why am I still like,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it hasn't come for me yet.
Okay, well, those
Really,
hot
people?
flashes.
No. Okay, so you're telling me that when you drop something on the floor, you could pick it right up?
Yeah, right now I'm good with that. The only
Oh,
thing I have an issue with is once I sit on the floor in TP style. If I'm there for a long length of period of time, I can feel the difference.
okay. So
Well,
something
great
has
for
happened.
you. So you still have Megan knees. Okay.
Yeah, I still got a little Megan knees. They ain't full Megan knees.
So wait, we're gonna have to make her do that challenge when they go down and put
Oh,
their
I
arms
can
up.
definitely do the challenge.
Girl, I
Look,
want Megan knees.
it's
I
an
want Megan knees.
ongoing joke at work because when I'm in a meeting, if there's no chairs, I will literally sit like not sit on the floor, but I will sit with my knees bent. And they like, I can't believe you can sit that long like that.
Girl,
That's great.
let me just jump in here and say that I've started experiencing thing. It could be my age and it could be my weight, which I know that I need to get rid of. But like if I get on the floor, I have to wait for the room to clear before I start trying to get up because it's so embarrassing. I'm like climbing the bed, climbing the wall. It's just too
Girl,
much. My knees
it's
be
like
popping.
you can get down there, but you can't get up.
No. And then when
Yeah.
I wake up in
Right.
the morning,
Same.
I have to sit on the side of the bed for a few minutes before I start walking. I'm like, woo.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah.
I can sit
Okay.
on the floor normal and get up normal. But if I do TP style, like where you fold your legs,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Well,
And then this happened too.
the fact that
Do you-
Tanya is 50, like every time it gives me a reality check, like she's like, I'm 50. I'm like, oh shoot, here it comes.
Yes,
I know,
I'm 48. So I'm like, she just said she was 50, and I was like, oh my God.
yeah, you're
It's
48,
happening.
boo.
Right.
You're 48,
Okay.
boo, okay?
Yeah, like 2
Yeah.
years.
So Latrece, you and I are together, huh?
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Look, and the glasses happened too. So
Yeah.
I was always good but it could be too that sitting in front of the computer like most of the day,
Mhm.
kind of did something to dim my eyes as well. But yeah, glasses, everything. So yeah, okay.
I definitely
Yeah.
think all the screen time plays effect in it too, because I'm just getting to the point in life where I feel like you need some glasses and stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I had to go
it's
beyond
real. I
readers.
need
I
them.
had to go to the eye doctor. Yeah.
Yep, same.
Whew. But you know what? We're doing this gracefully.
Yep,
Yeah,
You
we
know,
are, and we still look good.
we do,
I think
and I think
so.
we're gonna have to have a whole show. I don't like how this, how my light is on my face. We're gonna have to do a whole show about this whole little hitting the
Aging
circle.
gracefully.
Yeah, let's
Yes,
do that. Let's do
yes, we
that.
should. We should. We have to find a doctor to come on and talk about it. Okay, so the topic of today's show is being a sober mind, addiction uncovered, and that's Latrece Hosey Wood is here to talk to us about. And we are so excited to have my niece Latrece on this show
Hey.
because we are definitely. Just tell me, where are we going today?
All the way
All the
there.
way
We're
there.
going all the
We're
way
going all
there.
the way there.
I
All the
love
way
it.
there. Yeah, we are.
Let's
Are we
do
gonna
it.
get the music or we already played
Again?
it once? Okay, we
Okay.
don't have to do it again.
Oh.
He looks like, yeah, anything to save me from looking at that picture of myself again, I'm fine.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Okay. Every time he play it, I'm like this. Oh my god. Okay, so anyway, welcome everyone that's chiming in. Thank you for everyone that's viewing this at a later time. We don't take for granted whether you're watching us live or watching us during the playback on the platforms that we play on. So, Latrece, want to tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started? You're a mom, a wife. What are you?
I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a grandmother. I'm somebody's grandmother.
Girl,
What?
not just somebody's grandma. How many grandmother?
I'm
How
a
many?
grandmother 3 times. I have twins. My twins, they are 8 months. Zane and Zara, and I have my ace. He is 6 weeks. He was 6 weeks on Friday. So I am a grandmother. I have 2 boys and 1 girl. And everybody, I have Victoria and Morgan, who have the kids, and Jacob is 14, my basketball star. I'm a basketball mom.
Okay.
Yes, and I enjoy that. That's my therapeutic. My grandchildren and basketball.
Is it really therapy for you? Are you able to watch the game in peace, or are you like one of those loud people on the sideline?
I used to be really loud, but I'm not loud anymore. I just sit back and let them play us game.
Really?
Yeah, if I sit back and, well, every now and then I might have something to say, but I'm learning the game so good. So then I find myself being a coach on the side, one of those mama coaches.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
no,
See the floor, hold on. D up.
so
I
when
do
you
all
get in the
that.
car, you have
But
a whole lot to say.
But Jacob, and he'll see it, and I'm like, okay.
You embarrass that baby.
Yeah.
And you have a whole lot to say in the car on the way back.
I used to. I have grown so much. I used to get in the car and try to, but I let him play his game. He's growing into it. So I let him just play his game. I try to be quiet as possible because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to set them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So as we stated, Latrece is here to talk about her addiction. Just tell us, like, how did it start? When did it start? And in your early days, what was it? And we'll just jump in and ask questions as you talk.
So 2000, I started abusing drugs, alcohol and cocaine. Alcohol is a drug. Everybody needs to know that.
Yeah.
2001, I want to say like 20 years ago. And
So you're just 28?
I said 20 years ago.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Are you getting sassy?
Pardon me?
Are you getting sassy?
Are you getting sassy? I'm 48 years old. And I started abusing drugs 20 plus years ago.
Okay. 20 plus. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, go on.
Are you doing the math?
I just did.
Okay.
Okay, for those that are just tuning in, Latrece is my niece, and we have like this banter all the time.
Oh,
We like love each other. We like go hard for each other. So don't think that she's on here getting smart. Like this is just us.
This is what we do. We
Okay,
grew up
go
like
ahead.
sisters.
Yes.
So, in any event, so I was what you would call cross addicted, and that's when you usually can't do one drug without the other. So for me, it was cocaine and liquor. I'm gonna say liquor, that choice of alcohol, but I think liquor was my first choice, and cocaine was something that I did with it. Yeah. So I battled it. So I've been trying to get sober for the last 10 years. Um, I never got to 3. Well, yeah, I got to 3 months, but I maybe got to 6 months, maybe once or twice in my addiction. So this time I have been sober. I'm probably jumping. I'm going. I don't know if that's your next question, but I'm on it. I'm ready. So I
Go
have been
for it.
sober since October 2020, October
That's what's
10th.
up.
Yes.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Thank you. And I feel great. It's a feeling that I can never explain. Hey, if you read the fine print on the flyer, it says when my spirit returned back to me. And that's deep. Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
So when you say that you're cross addicted, so your first time ever trying cocaine and drinking was 20 plus years ago?
Well, not drinking, but cocaine. So drinking I
Okay.
did occasionally, but then the cocaine came along, and then the drinking it intenses. It gets worse. So that was 21 years ago when I first tried cocaine, and a family friend introduced me to it. So that's something I also want to touch on, that it's free. First time is always free, baby.
Hmm.
So
A family friend introduced you?
a family friend introduced me to cocaine. Yeah, sure
Wow.
did. And I said no a couple times. It's like a movie. It was like a movie. In the movies when they say, try this, and they tell you, the first person gonna say, try this. That's really how it happened. And then I finally said, okay, that was the worst okay that I ever said in my life.
Mm.
And then I tried it, and then it was a nightmare
So
from
is it
then on.
really like the first time you tried it, it was, you were high, and then after that, after the times after that, was it like you were chasing a high that you could never experience again, or?
That's right. You never can get back to that first high. So what it is that you chase that first high forever, and you're never gonna get back to it. You're never gonna get to the first high. So that's why you continue to use the substance, and you keep on, because you're chasing it. You're chasing it, and you're never gonna get there. So that's exactly what it is, and you become addicted. And something that my dad taught me is that it sits on your dopamine perceptives, and that cause for it. Those perceptives cause for it. So then that's how you become addicted. Yeah.
So at what point though did you realize that you were addicted after your first time?
Good question. When I was going to purchase it, several occasions when you purchase it, and you looking for it, and you seeking it, and you trying to get high, like you trying to get high, and it's no, and you think that that's your high, so it's no that wine or that mixed drink or that wine cooler couldn't do it for you. You needed that high. It was this certain high that you this feeling you got. So then that's when I knew I was addicted. Well, actually, you live in denial for a long time. You don't think you're addicted. When you realize you're addicted is when you realize you have a problem. When you realize you have a problem is when you're on your journey to recovery. So, yeah.
Oh, say that again. Can
I
you
know. I
that?
was like, that was
Well,
pretty deep.
that's right. So that's that. Those are the steps there. So then when you are on your journey to recovery, it's a journey. So I was on my journey to recovery for 10 years. I wanted to get sober for 10 years. And I just remember saying to myself, like, "Oh, I gotta stop." But then I stopped. Like I said, I'll get to 3 months. Always 3 months. And my mom used to say, "You always, when I see you past that 6 months, maybe twice I got past 6 months. But when I got sober this time, I was like, okay."
What do you attribute your sobriety to? Your grandbabies, your kids, or like what was your rock bottom after 20 plus years?
My rock bottom was in 2017. 2018, I want to say, my stepson was murdered. And and I was going, my husband was away, and I was running around town with this guy, my husband, one of his friends or whatever, doing all kind of devilish things. And I lost it. I was running around the town, getting high, doing everything under the sun, neglecting my kids, which I really, really didn't do a lot of during my addiction. Like, I really was not one of those parents who neglected their children. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that was my rock bottom. That was the rock bottom for me. And then then it took me 2 years to get sober. 2 years. After that, and that was my rock bottom. It was a nightmare. That whole episode, it was 2018 January, and I can't remember how long it went, because you go on a binge. So it was a binge. That was that was the rock bottom. That's what I would call my rock bottom. And then from that day, I would try to get sober from then, like for real, like more intense. Like I can do it. I was working on it, crying, praying, surrendering.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You surrender. You talk about surrendering.
What I admire, Latrece, is that you did this, I won't say on your own, because we know you had the Lord, but you didn't check into like a rehab, or do you go to meetings now?
No, I don't. And then I want to say this to everyone's listening, because my goal here, everyone that is listening, my goal here is to reach people before they get to it.
Right.
And so I didn't go to meetings. I didn't like meetings because it didn't sit with me well. But what works for me might not work for you. And what worked for you might not work for me. So I'm not here to tell you do not go to meetings. Meetings don't work. It didn't work for me. God worked for me. And my 11-year-old at the time son, that's who got me sober.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so 20 plus years ago, your oldest was here, because how old is your oldest?
Victoria.
My everything.
My bestie. My bestie, Victoria. If I don't say, I gotta say Morgan. If I don't say Victoria.
Oh, I'm about to break all of that down.
Morgan. I mean Victoria, but she's 28 years old. Tori's 28. Okay. So
it started around just before she was born. Or after she was born?
No, she was born, because it was it's about 21 years ago. She's 28. You need to get your math together. You got a calculator.
Latrece,
y'all act so much.
I do have my math together. Because if you're 48,
I thought you was a mathematician about your math. What's going on?
No, sweetie, because you said you were 48, and 20 years ago would make you
28.
So my math is together, okay? And
then, you were saying the age was 20. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then you went on to have Morgan, and then you went on to have Jacob. How old is Morgan?
Morgan is 19.
Okay, and Jacob is 14.
It's 14. Yeah. Well, he'll be 14. December 18th, he'll be 14. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so through all of that, you're cross addicted to cocaine and alcohol. Mm-hmm. Did any of your kids, were they born addicted or anything? Can you talk about that? And
I already born addicted. Like they were not. Nope, they weren't born addicted. None of them. Because at that time, that's the only. Oh, I have to say that too, because I said I never got to 6 months. So during my pregnancies with Morgan and Jacob, I was sober during those times. So those were the times. But as soon as I dropped them, I was ready to get right back to it. So I have to go back and say that when I had my kids, Morgan and Jacob, I was sober at that time. Nope, they weren't born addicted. I did not use drugs. So I was pregnant. When I found out I was pregnant, then I stopped using drugs from that time. But as soon as they came, I was right back to it. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, let's be clear on that.
I just wanted to get that out.
Yeah, let's be clear.
Yeah. And so when the next generation, like Morgan, your nieces and nephews or cousins, really, when they found out, one of them said, I would not have known that about my aunt cousin, because she always looked good. And so I think like you always like look good and carried yourself well, like no one would have known.
Yeah, a lot of people on here today are probably like, what? Like they didn't know because I knew how to carry myself. Because one thing I am is vain, and I'm all into fashion, into looks.
Yes.
Everybody that know me knows that. Like I'm into looks. It's all about looks, and I know how to cover up. See, that's why uncovered is a good one because what you do is you cover up.
Yeah,
You cover up. So I was good
good.
at covering up
That's
until I got
good.
into certain places and I knew how to handle myself in certain situations. So when I come around family, I always covered up. But when I was in the
Mhm.
street, getting high in the club, acting a fool, it wasn't a cover up.
They knew the real
Yeah,
you.
they knew that I was a whole drunky
Hmm.
cocaine head. And some people probably didn't know I was a cocaine head. My kids didn't know that I used cocaine until after I got sober. They thought I was just an alcoholic. But I told them once I got sober that I also indulged in cocaine because I needed them to know if it ever come your way, ever say no. I want to that leads me to this. Can I
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to make sure that I want to touch I want 20-year-olds. 20-year-olds is the prime time that people begin to get addicted. So millennials, like the 20s, that's your time. So be careful during those times. If you know anybody, if you are in your 20s, like that's the time. College time, just
Yep.
be careful because all these drugs are just gonna come your way. Whatever your drug of choice may be, like whatever you might, it's all kind of drugs out here now. So people off of everything, they crushing up Adderall, like
Yep.
what's going on, so you have to just be careful in that your prime years, those 20s. You have to be careful because that's when you become your most vulnerable point to
Mhm.
become a substance of abuse. Yeah.
And especially if it's like in the bloodline, because we
Yes. And
know. Let's talk about that. How it's in our bloodline.
it's in our bloodline. Genetics and genes are very important, and people need to realize that too. When you have parents or grandparents or aunts and uncles or siblings and people that are addicted, you need to pay attention to that. My mother talked to me about that before I even started with drugs. Like, be careful. You got addiction in your family. I wasn't listening when in one ear out the other. You know, so but that's a big. You really, really, really have to pay attention to that because genetics and genes are like it's in your gene pool.
Mhm. And
You
it
got to
will
be
come.
careful
And
because
it will come for you too.
it'll come for you, baby, and it's gonna come like a thief in the night, and you got to rebuke it.
You
You got
really
to
do.
rebuke it. Yeah.
Like your family have drugs run. My family has alcoholism, so I will always stay away from it.
Alcohol is a drug, Keela.
And well, yeah,
Mhm.
it is a drug, but I
Yeah.
mean the different type of drugs.
Yeah, your drug
Alcohol
of
was their
choice. Yeah.
choice. Yeah, that
Hmm.
was their choice. And I
Uh-huh.
remember being in college because I had uncles that got drunk all the time, like
Hmm.
to the point to where they didn't go out and have jobs. You gotta have some people who are high functioning alcoholics. They still go to work. They still
Hmm.
maintain a home. They still do all those things. Well, they were not. So I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want to
Hmm.
be sitting up in my mother house in the chair
Yeah.
every Sunday. So I stayed away from it because
Hmm.
I knew what was running, the type of demon that was running through my family. So
Yeah.
people, they would talk about me, even like how you say in your 20s. They'll be like, "Oh, you always want to be the designated driver. You so lame. You so boring." But guess what? I'm not. Y'all don't know what I was dealing with, in my own family because I didn't talk about it.
Great.
You know
That's
what I
great.
mean?
Oh yeah,
So
because
yeah,
what you
so
don't know make a whole new world.
it
And
really
and that's
exactly.
right. And everybody has a story. The difference between your story, my story, Tanya's story is that if you tell your story or not. That's the only difference.
Exactly. So
Absolutely.
I'm totally agreeing with you because that is definitely when they come at you the strongest. Like I can remember the peer of them, you going to the college parties and they're like, "You
Hmm.
so lame. You don't want to drink. You don't want to do this." And I'm like, because I go home every Sunday and see my uncle sitting there just pining away, and I
Yeah.
just don't want to do that. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
that's
right. So, another thing that society has taught us or made us think is that you need alcohol or a substance to be who you are or to socialize. So that's the way people socialize. When people come together, the first thing they do is they bring alcohol into the picture. It's on the table. It's right here. That's how we socialize and we come together. And
Yep.
society has taught people to think that way. And
That's
that part
true.
for me is very scary because I
Mhm.
had to learn how to socialize again. I
Right.
didn't know I'm sitting there full of a room full of people that drink and get high, well, drink or whatever, and I don't know how to start. I don't know where to put my hands.
Right.
I'm
Right.
like, like I don't know how to start a conversation. I lost my social grace because I thought that I needed that to be. So that's why people. Let me touch on this. That's why a lot of people get high and use drugs and alcohol. Alcohol is a drug. I'm gonna keep saying that. It's because they are not comfortable with who they are in their own skin. So they need something to alter who they are so they can be who they don't want to be, So they need that. So that's why people do it, because they don't like their self. To me, you have to look at that person in the mirror. Like my dad always told me, Malcolm Burns, do not lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself, because you got to look in that mirror and you cannot lie to yourself. And you got to know your worth. You got to know your worth. And then that's people, they run for themselves. So that's what when we talk about addiction uncovered or covered, because it's a covering, it's a metaphor.
It is.
So you have to be able to love yourself. Because I missed me.
Right.
I was like, girl, I missed you, girl. Hey, girl, hey.
Right.
When I looked in the mirror and got it together, I missed me. My family missed me. I wasn't present. I wasn't the full version of me, So
I love that you being
that
so
part.
transparent, because it is so true. And to even have to be like the people on this side of the fence, you don't always want to talk at the person, because they like, well, don't worry about what I'm doing, but you everybody is affected. You know what I mean? Everybody is affected.
Everyone is affected, and people that have family members that are addicted, they need to go to get some help so they can learn how to deal with their addicted family member. That is very important. They could tear you down by not supporting you, but they don't know how, because they hurt too.
Right.
You hurting people's lives when you run around here high. It's the cost of living.
I know that was
running around. You hurt people like, for real. You hurt people like, you paying people lives that love you. You hurt people, but they don't know how to deal in the cope with you. I had like people, I call them fair weather, but as I get clear, it's not called fair weather. They needed help just like you did, because they got these people that they loved, that they looked up to, and that they, thought, that was gonna be their role model, and then they role model turned into a whole cokehead. Right in the middle of the mile in the road. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Right. So I'm just saying. So that's really
true.
That's deep. So yeah, that part.
Yeah. It's a lot. And I'm glad you touched on that, because it does affect the other family members. And like you say, it's not that people turn their back on you. It's just that I don't know what to do at this point. So you should go get some help. And I never looked at it exactly from that point of view, but it can take a toll.
Yeah, it takes a toll. And then let me tell you something else that I want to touch on that while we're talking about this. You have to surrender. Nobody can walk you in a clinic, walk you up to God, walk you where you need to walk to help you get clean. You have to want to get clean. You have to surrender. And that's where the serenity prayer comes in and to play. Serenity prayer is the prayer that we pray in recovery. God, grant me the serenity to, how's it go again? God, grant me the serenity to change the things. Hold on now. I got to refer back. That's okay. You can refer back.
I know what you're talking. I know what.
No. I'm gonna refer back, because I want to get this all the way right, because this is a very important part that I need to. I know my mother on here like, girl, as many times we say that serenity prayer, she can't remember. Mama, I'm getting it. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And then that's a part of so this is I have to touch on this, and this is I have to go back to my refer back to my notes on this because I looked up the definition of surrender because that all goes together with serenity. I want to say, yeah, guys, keep going because I'm gonna find this with my
You know,
notes.
Okay,
I
so I
want
just want to
to
read.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Tanya.
I was gonna look at the comments, but go ahead.
Yeah, because I was
Okay,
about to say, no, you say your point because I want to touch on something Patsy said too.
okay. So when you surrender, is letting go of a situation beyond your control and taking action of things within your control, and that's when you surrender.
Right. That is very
Serenity.
true. You got to
Okay,
surrender to
I
it.
had to get that out. Like I,
But that's good though because you do have to take the things that you can control and let go of the
that's
things that
right.
you
That's
cannot.
right. Mm-hmm.
But Patsy was saying that family have to know the difference between being a support and an enabler. And
Mhm.
That's right.
sometimes it is such a thin line between the love and the hate because if you have dealt with a serious alcoholic like how I lost a person to alcohol that I was with, it is a very complicated thing because no, I did not go buy alcohol for them. No, I did not encourage them. But when sometimes they become a whole totally different beast. So if they have their alcohol, if this is what keeps you under, then I mean, I hate to say it, it's just such it's just such a hurtful experience if you have ever experienced it. I really can't
Girl.
say, but no, I've never contributed. I've never given money. I've never said go have your alcohol. I've never said this. But because they become so totally different when they do not have the alcohol,
You try
you
to give
don't.
it to them just to get them.
Yeah,
Just
I
girl,
never
give it to
gave it
them.
to him to do that. But when he had it, I didn't say give me that alcohol. I mean, it's a grown man.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
go sit in your corner because who you are without that is who we don't can't deal with right now. You know
Because
what I'm
it's a
saying?
okay. Are you saying when he was when he was under the influence, he acted? You were able
More
to
calm.
deal with him?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I didn't go get him or encourage it or do anything or whatever because you talk at people like I said sometimes the talking at people don't work either. So Latrice, people
No, you
like
can't talk
whatever.
at people. You can't do
You
that.
can't talk. You can't
Uh-uh.
talk. You can could continue to encourage them, but it's just a hard thing, and it just goes back to what you said. We need help too, because
Absolutely. Absolutely.
you don't know how to handle that.
Yes, and
You
that
really don't.
enabling, you have to know what enabling is. Like, what was her words? Enabling or Pat's? What did she say?
She said being a support and an enabler.
Yeah,
So
so enabling and support, like you said, it's a thin line, but you have to know how to support and how not to enable. So that's
right,
where
Mhm.
that comes into
and
play at
that has
because
to be learned
that's
though.
right, and it's a learned behavior. So I'm working with people right now that are close to me that I'm trying to help, but I have to learn. So I have to practice what I preach. I have
Hmm.
to learn how to not enable that person, but I have to also support that person. But I want it so bad for them, then it's like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
But even you said that you can't want it more than they want
you
it.
cannot. And my mother used to tell me, Vicky
that's so
Burns,
true,
she used to say,
Tanya.
"Baby, I don't want for you. I want more for you than you want for yourself."
Yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
something. Yep. Hmm.
And
and
I believe your mom is watching right now,
I
Treese.
know she watching right now.
Yeah, I know
your
she is.
twin.
My twin. Okay. All
Yes,
right.
for sure. There for sure.
Yep.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
um so you're okay, so I'm listening to your conversation and you're suggesting that the people, your loved ones, seek, help and therapy, but that's not something that's okay. But that's not something that you're doing for yourself. So are you putting them before you or like why
Okay.
don't you
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Okay, so you're saying that the people that love you, they need to learn how to like deal with you, or learn how to deal with the person that you are now. In so many words, you said that, and they should seek help, just to talk to someone. But you're suggesting that they do that. But what are you doing for yourself? Like, are not? Do you have a therapist? Do you
Yeah.
have someone that
So,
you're talking to?
it's God for me. It's God, for me. Therapy. Yes, I have been in therapy. but it's God for me. It's God. But like that refers back to me saying that you can't everybody recovers in a different way or seek help in a different way. So when I said that when you are going through your addiction, when I said that the family while you're going through your addiction, they should seek help on how to deal with their addicted family member.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I meant when I said that. But for me, what I'm doing for me is I'm seeking help within God and within um, um, dealing with my spirit turning back to me and my own therapeutical ways of, so that's how I'm dealing with recovering. So it's your choice. Like you choose how you deal with your recovery. So it's not, you can't, yeah, so you can't, I can't tell anybody how to deal with their recovery. So I think I misunderstood your question because you're saying that I'm saying that family members need to get help with the new me or the when I was going through
Or
my
anyone
addiction.
going through anything.
Yeah,
You,
when
the
you're
old.
going through your addiction, I think
Mhm.
family members need to also seek help on how to deal with their
Right.
addicted family member. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
It
Mhm.
definitely makes sense
Hmm.
because
So how is everyone doing now, Latrece?
Everybody is doing great. Like I, I wasn't present. So now, the mama, when mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. The whole doggone castle done broke down. So now it's like everybody's doing great. Everybody is, you know, in the right path. Everybody's doing great. And we talk about it now. I like to talk about it with him. Jacob doesn't like to talk about it, but he is why I got sober. Well, one of the reasons he came in my room and was like, "You a mess. You need to get it together." And Mama, please, we need you. And that was the
right.
day I got sober. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you in touch with anyone, like the person that got you started? Are you in touch with this person?
Not at all.
No,
No.
not at all.
No,
No.
not at all. I haven't been in touch with that person, and I maybe talked to her like about a while ago. But no, I haven't been in touch with her. Like I maybe 5 years ago, like via Facebook, or she might inbox, which is really unfortunate because she oh, that was a mess. No, I haven't been in. Let's just say no, I have not talked to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and so someone is saying that someone still wants to know, did someone say, wait, let me read it. I still want to know, did Latrece have people that will say, try this? Like if you try cocaine, let's try something else. Or did it stop at cocaine?
Oh, that's what they're asking. Did it stop at
Uh-huh.
cocaine? No, at one
Mhm.
point I used ecstasy pills during my addiction, and that was right before when I first started getting high using cocaine, and I found out real quick that that wasn't my drug of choice. So that was the only other substance that I ever tried was ecstasy pills, cocaine, and alcohol. No other drug, no other
Mm.
way. Cocaine, not crack. I sniffed it up my nose. Let's be very clear. And so
So funny. So
I
you
didn't
want to say
smoke
like that
crack.
whole Whitney thing? Like
Yeah,
Whitney
yeah.
Houston when she was
You know, I
like,
Whitney
wasn't. I didn't
said-
smoke crack. I sniffed cocaine. Yeah,
mhm,
I want to be clear on that. People like
okay,
same thing. No, it's not.
it's not the same.
No, not at all. And
Yeah.
not saying it's better, but it's not the same.
Oh my goodness. Morgan just said crack is whack.
That's my daughter, my 19-year-old. She
It is. It's
so,
a whole little.
but
Did you
anyway,
and this
so
same
yeah,
person also wants to know, the same person also wants to know that you try to introduce other people to it. Like, try
yes,
this
yes,
cocaine.
yeah, yeah.
Well, you never said that to me. Why is that?
Because I know you wouldn't do it, but you was smoking them weeds in high school though.
And people tell me normally goes to people who they think are gonna try it too.
You
You
know I had to
know,
say something silly, but no, yes I introduced people to it, of course. Yes, it was a part of the once you get in it, you in it. Like
part of the
anybody,
culture.
not like I didn't make anybody do it though. Like let me just really think. Did I introduce anybody? I really don't think I really introduced anybody to it. I can't really say that. I have to go back and say no. I don't think I really introduced anybody. And if somebody on here that I introduced it to, sorry, I can't remember. If they're trying to catch me in something, but no, I can't. really remember me introduce. I can't remember a certain time in my head that I introduced it to somebody. Like,
Right.
I don't think so. I don't think I introduced it to anybody. Yeah, I think they usually come out the closet, like, like, oh, you do it, I do too, because you
Right.
find out that type of thing. But introducing, like, take this, try this. No, I can't remember. I don't think I did that. No, no.
So Patsy, going back to what we were talking about previous, she was saying, did your family member go to a support um Al Anon because anonymous because many family members feel guilty when a loved one is a substance abuser, and sometimes substance is used to cover up pain, right?
Yeah,
They
self
may
medication. Yeah. So what was her question? I don't understand.
basically, did your family go to a group support?
No, that's what I said. They did not. My family did not go to group support. They
I
did
Because
think
not.
we were each other's support.
But like I had, Morgan has always been in therapy, so she dealt with it through her therapist, and so did Victoria. So both of them were in therapy, and they dealt with it through their therapist, and they probably still do, because it's like ongoing. Your mother, like, that's something that your mother, like you said, your uncles, it's something they're gonna remember. That's why I'm happy that God got me all the way together before them grandbabies got here.
right.
You know what I'm saying? He got me all the way together, and he gave me 2 years to get it all the way together, and but dump 3 on me at the same time. God is
Sure
See,
did
good.
within
Yeah.
months.
So
So
yeah,
Morgan said that she's been in therapy since 6th grade. But when I think about like my sister, who's Latrice's, my older sister is Latrice's mom, my mother, her granny, like everyone else, we basically just relied on each other.
yeah.
We didn't go to like a support group to talk about it. We just relied on
Mhm.
each other. And I can remember like sometimes when my sister would call and tell me, what's going on with Latrice again, it'd just be like a heavyweight.
Yeah.
But I will
And
say
that's
this, she
hurting
wasn't.
too. That's hurting when you hurt
It,
your family. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Like,
it
that
is.
got you together. That got me together too, because there was people that was dependent on me. You know, and
mhm.
it was hurtful. So that's hurt. That's really hurtful. But
Yeah.
anyway,
But
here
no,
I
but
am.
let me just say this: like Latrice was never like the addict that when she came over, we had to put our purses up.
Yeah.
No.
We never had to hide anything when she would go over her house. She'd come over her sisters or my house. We never had to say, "Put this up, that's up." We
That's
do
usually
have,
a crackhead. That's
yeah,
crackhead behavior. So that differentiates. Mhm.
Latrice. But cocaine is expensive too.
Yeah, so
And
expensive. It's an expensive drug. People like to say rich man high. I like to say weak man high. So yeah, that's what they like to say, because you run into like really prominent people. One thing about when you start using cocaine, you run into some people that you are very surprised that gets high, like doctors, lawyers,
Yep.
news broadcaster, professional people in high places. You run into some real interesting people that use cocaine. Like, you run into some people that you would never believe. It's like being a zombie and you walk around on a movie and you see the zombies know the zombies. The cokeheads know the cokeheads. Like, yeah.
And now that she's
wow.
using that
Mhm.
analogy before Tanya read this one comment, walking around, like when you look back at like you've been recovered, you said since 2020, right?
October
October
10th,
10th, 2020.
yeah.
Do you look back over that time and like think about all the time, like you feel like you've wasted, like do you remember certain things, or do you look back and it was like a blur, like how
Well, a lot of things I don't remember, because you know that commercial that they had with that egg, when they put that egg on that skillet and they
Oh my
say,
goodness. This is your
this is
this is
drugs.
your
This is your
drug. This
brain
your
on
brain
drugs.
on drugs.
Any
yeah,
questions? That's real. So for real, you fry your brain. Your brain fried. I'm hoping I'm not getting dementia. Like, some stuff, I'm like, oh my God. I do not. Yeah. So to answer your question, that's a thing. Yeah.
because different type of abuse will kind of leave you in a fog, and sometimes
Yeah.
my sister, she'll say things and I'll be like, no, the kids were, but she's like, girl, that was the second baby, that wasn't
Yeah.
the
I don't
first baby,
remember a lot of
you
stuff.
know. I'm like,
Yeah. And one thing, what else I was gonna say about I had something else I was gonna say when you said that was appropriate at that time.
About the zombies, about being like out of it
Mm.
and remembering certain
Oh, you
things.
know something that I beat myself up about that I wish I could get the them years back. Because
That's
I wish I could get them years back, but I can't. You can't go back and erase them years. I wish I could get them back because I'm like I could have been that ill in my 30s. Like
the
you know what
checked
I'm
out
saying?
part is you still was that deal.
No, like because people,
I know what you're
everybody. It's
saying
probably so many
though.
people shocked on this podcast, like because I was a good cover up, except when you saw me out. If you was in that world with me, and you
Right.
knew what was going on. But like my church members that's probably on here, my people, my kids' friends that are probably on here, like that, I covered up so well on the outside, But I wish I could get them 10 years. And I can't beat it up. I beat myself up. My mother tell me, don't beat yourself up. Because I can't go back and erase them years. But if I would have, I got some friends in high places, and I know I'd have been right up there with them if I wouldn't have went through this.
I was listening to a message the other day, and the pastor was saying basically it is so when we cover up because we've all been through things in life and don't want people to know what's happening, and
Addiction uncovered.
it makes it easier to continue to do it when it's covered up. But when you start letting some things be known, and then people start kind of talking at you, you can kind of see what other people are seeing from that side of the track a little bit.
Oh
But as
yeah.
long as things are covered, you just gonna keep on going because you don't have nobody
to hold you accountable.
hold
So
you
that's
accountable.
something else that I'd like to touch on when you're going through your addiction and you have someone to hold you accountable,
right?
Then that's a different light. That's a different light. Because if
is.
you have no one who doesn't give a beat about you, and no one to hold you accountable, then you just gonna keep on. Nobody who cares. They don't care. Nobody cares for you. Nobody cares to hold you accountable.
Who holds you accountable, Latrece?
My kids and my parents. Yeah, my kids and my parents. That's who held me accountable, and my siblings. Yeah, my siblings. Yeah, they held me accountable. My sister Kristen, she looked up to me. I can't touch on this because this will make me cry. I let her down. I was her role model.
Kristen is watching too. She said, "Go Treese, go" earlier, so she's watching. It's okay because you know what? That same God that you rely on for all your support that you talk to, He's the one that will restore and resurrect and just refresh, replenish, and do all those things where you won't even feel like those 10 years that you want back or those 20 years that you want back. He'll just give you even more till you're not even missing those years.
He'll restore.
And I see that now in the those years are coming back in the relationships that you have with your kids. They love you. Oh my goodness. Morgan is 19 but a hip child.
I said I was not gonna cry because I'm supposed to cry up like Oprah. Somebody give me some tissue.
But it's a blessing to even be on this side of the track to be able to talk to people before because some people are thinking about it. Some people are gonna have people approach them tomorrow, and at least you're able to, get this out and say, "Listen, don't go down this road," and that's what your story is for.
Do not go down that road. Leave it alone. It's dirty. I'm telling you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Remember my.
I'm telling you, how many times when we were little Latrece, when we watched the scene with that one commercial, those little white things came to town. Just say no to drugs. How many times?
Right. Oh my God. The commercial doing the same. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Now you're telling people to just say no.
Don't do. Just say no. Say no to drugs. Would you please listen to me? Please listen to me. You're going to destroy yourself. You're going to destroy yourself. You're going to destroy yourself. You're going to be so mad you didn't listen to me. Listen to me. Do not use drugs. And let me tell you about alcohol. Let me touch on this, baby, because what is it? What I keep saying? Alcohol is a drug.
It's a drug.
Let me tell you some research that I did this morning that I wanted to say numbers because people respond with numbers. You got to do numbers. So women that consume 7 drinks per week, and men that consume 14 drinks per week are in trouble. Check yourself. Look at that person in the mirror and check yourself, and don't lie to yourself. Go to that mirror What we say, Kristen? Mirror checking is a must, baby. And that's real talk. You need to check yourself. Look in the mirror. If you are a woman and you do 7 drinks per week, and if you're a man and you do 14 drinks per week, I need you to check yourself right now because you're on a road to destroy yourself.
Right.
You're gonna destroy yourself. It's gonna be horrible for you. Please listen to me.
Right, because you don't drink at all anymore.
Nothing since October 10th, 2020. I have not had a wine cooler, a cocaine, a pill, 2% alcohol, 1% alcohol, of nothing, no substance at all.
So
and guess what I am? I'm my whole self.
Right.
My head is clear.
Right.
I can see clearly now. The rain is gone.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to read this. Yeah. So someone is saying, love this topic. I grew up where my mother was a substance abuse user for majority of my childhood, and it was very troubling. Mm-hmm. However, she went and received help once I was in high school and has been clean ever since. It definitely takes that person to get tired of being in that lifestyle for them to finally let it all go.
Let me tell you
I'm happy for the guest Latrece to share her story and makes my heart happy, makes my heart smile.
Oh, well, it makes my heart smile that you had that story to tell. That makes my heart smile that you had that story to tell because guess what? My kids got that story to tell, especially Morgan Wood and Victoria Hosey. They got that story to tell. So, and Jacob Wood, he's going to have that Victoria Carter. It's going to have that story to tell as well because he, he's the youngest and he is the one that got me clean. He literally came in my room and was like, okay, you're a mess. This is a mess. We're a mess. What's going on? Ma, we need you. What's going on? Like, we need you. You messing up, Ma. We over here. It's a mess. And I know you can do better.
Right.
And you know what, Latrece, another thing that will make you happy, to make those tears turn to like the happiest of tears. Zane, Zara, and Ace, and any grandchild to come after, they will not know that Latrece from 20 plus years ago.
Right.
It'll go down in history, and that is why God is so good, baby. And I'm so happy He got me together for those.
Yeah, because you basically broke chains.
Yeah, yeah. And the generational curse. Let's touch on that.
Right. You broke that.
The generational curse, and that's usually what it is.
And Tori said, "Cry up, baby. You're okay, and we're very proud of you." So Tori said, "Go ahead and cry."
Oh, that's my
wait,
daughter.
I have to read this. You are very strong for getting on here and speaking this. You are one of the reasons that I started getting very involved in psych med. This is truly amazing. Then she said, "Namaste." You know who said that?
Who?
Ash. You about to start again?
Girl, why would you do that to me, Ash? Now, you know I'm gonna cry. Now, why would you do that? You know me.
That's her baby sister. Cousin Angie said, "I love you, cuz." Chrissy said, "You're going on a world tour. Man, you're done so beautifully. Great interview." Yeah, people are just, so when you get a time after this, go to our page and just read how many people are just lifting you up and just so happy you have this story to tell.
Oh,
they love you, everybody. Proud and glory to God. You're breaking those curses. Yep. Praise God. I'm about to start crying too.
I know, right? I mean, for real. I want to say my closing. Are we closing? But I don't want to cry up.
Listen, y'all know this is Ty and Niece because she literally is about to close out our podcast. But go ahead, Latrece.
Wait, Latrece, hold on before you do that, because we do have to keep it under 60. We're going to let you close it out, but I want to know if Keela has anything that you want to say, Keela.
Right quick, I just want to tell her I'm so proud of her. I'm looking at all her encouragement she have in the comments, but Morgan has just totally won my heart because for her to be on here supporting her mom like that touches my soul because I can tell just in these comments that girl loves you.
And Victoria, don't forget about my Tori.
Victoria too, but I'm looking at the way Morgan is commenting. She in here.
Oh yeah, she my middle child. She rolled out with me.
Right. So I love that they support you. Mm-hmm. And I'm just glad for you. And I just pray that you stay on this path as you have been. And I wish you the best. And that's all I have to add.
Thank you so much.
And before we let you close it out, Latrece, I always give a challenge every week. And my challenge is for everyone that if anyone walks up to you and offer you a drink, a pill, drugs, marijuana, all of that, just say no. Just say no, because if you know, especially if you have like addiction that's genetic in your family, say
Don't
no.
do it. Don't
Because
do it.
it escalates. It escalates and moves on to other things.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just want to reassure you, Tracy. Tori said that you will not have any more grandkids from her. So I guess that was Morgan that said that. I'm sure
Morgan.
Tori's probably going to chime in and say the same thing.
Same.
So
I know. They told me I'm done. I got to
Jacob.
depend on Jacob.
Jacob down the road. Go ahead and close us out, Latrece.
Okay, so I just want to say that I know that people are going to have positive and they're going to have negative responses, but I'm getting a lot of positive and I'm loving that. I want to apologize to anyone that I might have embarrassed, hurt, or did, something during my addiction. I want to apologize, make amends. I can't cry.
Girl.
And they know your heart. They know your heart. And Morgan, I know you and your sister feel the same. I just was loving how you just
and I hope and I listen. I hope and I pray that this touches somebody's life. That's what I'm meant to do. I want to touch somebody's life right now, and for them to move forward. I really want to touch somebody's life, and to whatever. And if they are using whatever drug of choice, that they're covering up their self because they don't want to be their natural self, or they are self-medicating their self. Or, seek help, seek help because you got a life. It's a world out here. And all that devil, that white devil or any substance, whatever substance your drug of choice may be, it's going to destroy you. It came to rob, steal, kill, and destroy. So get it together.
Okay. Even
and God bless everybody and thanks for listening.
You're welcome, Latrece. And your mom said even your dad shed a tear too. Can't help but to be proud. I mean, seriously, look at you. I mean, you went all the way there. You're so vulnerable. You share with us, and we appreciate it. And and we can't. Let's just end on like this is all happy, but let's just go like in a different direction. Latrece, so you have a business, right?
Can you tell us about that? Let's talk about that.
Let's blow that up real quick.
Let's talk about
first.
That.
Let me just say, when she talk about being her nail business, okay. How she started doing nails and you were like 13.
Who is this?
And I was your guinea pig.
Oh, I thought you were reading the comments. Yeah, so I've been doing
nails for I was your guinea pig. Tell us about 30 plus
years. I've been a nail tech. It is truly my calling. It is what God has put me on this earth to do, and I'm gonna chase it to the end of time. So Hue Nail NCC, that's Nail Color Consulting, is really the name of my business, and I had a studio in downtown Detroit inside of the Collective. I closed due to the pandemic. So now what I'm doing right now is the doorstep pampering edition of Hue, which I offer manicure and pedicure parties, group bookings, bridal showers, kid parties, girlfriends getting together. My sister's having me one on the December 8th, a party for her neighborhood. I'm doing 10 ladies, any type of doorstep pampering. Seniors, I cater to seniors. I work for Fox Run Senior Living Facility. I am the nail tech inside of there. The only nail tech is 1,300 residents. And so that's my retired job before retirement, community service that I get paid for. That's what I like to call it. But anyway, if you guys are interested in calling me to book a group booking or a pamper party, you could DM me or get with me through Facebook. Also, I want to let you guys know I am available to do any type of motivational speaking that you might be interested in. Any drug abuse, something like just this is the start of that. So if you're interested or if anybody else is interested, please contact me, DM me, or through this platform. And or Facebook message me.
Okay. Yeah. And then we'll make sure, and then you make sure you go back through the comments and then Tanya will make sure she get all your information up there for that.
Okay.
Okay, we so proud of you, girl.
Okay,
We are.
Thank
girl.
you for sharing your story with
Love
us.
you so much.
Yeah, my
niece
spirit
Latrece.
returned back to me. That's it. There we go. Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yep.
how we end it, and your spirit return back to you. And it's
That's
so
right.
funny because I got a real quick joke before I hang up. When she said that line, she literally put in the thing, and it's not gonna be like a spirit of. Anyway, if you watched last week podcast, then y'all know what we talking about. So we just gonna end it right there.
Yeah, please. Let's
And
not
we are-
bring up last week
Okay.
again or 2 weeks
See
ago.
y'all later.
Love
All
you
right.
guys.
See you
Thank you,
guys.
Latrece.
Love you.
Don't
Much
hang up,
love.
Latrece.